can you please answer? People wanna know and what do you have for us? And then our topic is very interesting. There you go. I hope you guys can be able to see me now. Can you see me clearly?
Hi, Lerato.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Okay, sharp.
Sharp.
Look, you fly.
Really? I try.
Yeah.
Hey, I give a trend that like I'm trending currently. So hey, I have to look better.
No, it's a good thing. Like it makes me feel nice because it means like unza serious.
It's part of my values.
Yeah, no, for sure. How have you been?
I've been okay. I'm good. I'm great, actually.
Yeah, man. Like I'm also great. I'm also happy that we are doing this, eh?
Yes. So together, I think it's very interesting, and I wonder if people know. You have to tell them how it came about because this is very interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, so how the topic came about, if Hopola Sinclair, you and I, like as we always been talking, like we've been talking for years now. So as we've been talking, then we got to a point whereby we asked each other, like, what is it that our careers and then our lives are predicated on? Mm-hmm. What are the like fundamental like foundations of on which we have built our lives and built our careers on? And then we ended up talking about values. Then I was like, Lerato, what you have to realize is that our values are the very things that we build our lives on and build our careers on. Our values are the things that actually, direct and actually dictate how we do things and then how we show up to life.
True.
And then as a result, then we spoke about this. Yeah, that's how our topic came about.
And thank you so much. Today, I'm so confident to be in front of everybody and, be
Yeah.
You know, I'm a people's person, but I've always shied away from being public and engaging and talking to people. But in my private space, normally I'll talk to people like you,
I know, exactly.
Yes. So the topic is very interesting. I don't know whether I should start with questions or we should just go straight to it and then give you the platform, because I wanted to read your biography to people so that they understand who you are. But then unfortunately my laptop just died now.
Oscar, so I will just share a little bit of my background.
Yes.
Like first and foremost, the most important thing is that you and I are from the same place.
Yes,
and I think that is very important. And then apart from that, I've been a software engineer for the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I know how to put, not the only way, but the best way I know how to put food on the table.
Yes.
And then other than that, I've been mentoring and then tutoring kids and then coaching people from different walks of life. Yeah, exactly, on how to approach things, how to navigate challenges of life, so on and so forth. Yes. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. So people can follow me maybe from this live because of because I'm tagged on this.
Yes, what's your Instagram handle again? Because I think
Michael _ Tabane.
Okay, so you're not using the MT Tabane on.
No. So they will pick up from here. Okay, sharp. This is the guy, and then they can follow me from then onwards. Yeah. So they will know more about me. So this is not about me. This is about you and your audience, and then why this topic is actually important to you. I know you might have questions, but I believe maybe the first thing that we should talk about is what are values. As simple as they may sound, but they're not as easy as they sound.
Yes.
No, they're not as easy as they sound. So if you don't mind me, give me the permission to talk about what are values actually? So what are they?
The platform is yours. You can take over and tell us about the values.
Thanks. Yeah, so Lerato, the values are nothing else but things that are important to you in terms of how you approach things in life, in terms of what life means to you, in terms of how you show up to the world. So your values, they build your worldview. So how you view your world, you view your world from the lenses of your values.
Yes.
So Lerato, like I can tell you now, even yourself and other people, is that there is a way that you look at life. or there is a way that you believe life should be like, or the way you believe the world should be like.
True.
And then the way you believe the world should be like is exactly dictated by you. At the very thing, the world.
Yes.
You know, so then it's important to know that, because once you know that, you'll then realize, oh, okay, I'm seeing the world this way because of I have this sort of values in my like in my list of things. And then one might ask, okay, what I explain what are they, but what are the examples of those? Examples of values can be like respect, can be care, can be kindness, can be passion, can be money as well, can be love. And love, I don't like to talk about it too much, because love is a container of so many things. Because when you say you love someone, there are certain things that you have on the list that that person must tick in order for that person to say, okay, yes, then I am then I love you, because of the specific things. That's why I don't like to talk about love that much, because of it's very loaded. It's so packaged, you know. So those are the things that are values.
True. And then, okay, maybe let me not expose myself, but then I find myself prioritizing another value, and it's, for me, it's a good thing, but I always find myself in a bad space because of that value, and it's called empathy.
I see what you mean. Empathy. For like just being able to see things from the perspective of the other person.
Yes.
So empathy is a very important value. So there is nothing wrong with empathy. Nothing wrong with it. So the only wrong thing with values, maybe I should explain, like, before I can get to the niche thing that we're talking about of empathy. Let me talk about like the importance of values in the whole spectrum of our being. Number one, it is that your values are the things that you attain your basic needs with. So so we have 4 basic needs as human beings.
Yes.
Number one is the need for significance. We want to feel important. Number 2 is the need for security. We want to feel secure.
Safe.
That's why we choose people that we be with. That's why we choose the jobs that we want to choose, because we want to feel secure. Number 3 is the need for adventure. We want to be fun. We want to be hip and happening.
That's me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's you. So that's one of the needs, you know? And then there is a need for love and belonging.
True.
Those are the needs. So now the thing is that your values are like, they will dictate how you attain these needs.
I hope people have those 4 basic needs. They're so important.
Yeah.
The 4 basic.
Yeah, they're so important. Yes. Okay. Like, should I repeat them?
Yes, please repeat them, so that when
so
they
number
ask
one
me
is
after this, I can be able to answer.
Yeah, for sure. So number 1 is the need for significance. We want to feel important. We want to feel like we are somebody. We want to feel like whatever space that we are in, we can be counted as well. So we are not just invisible. Number 2 is the need for security. We want to be secure in our jobs. We want to be secure in our relationships, secure in everything that we find. And that's why we save money, we invest and stuff like that, because we want the need for security.
True.
Number 3 is the need for adventure. So we want to be fun. We want to be adventurous. We want to go like bungee jumping. We want to do all sorts of things. We want to see all the hip and happening clubs in the world. We want to go to the top of Mount Everest and stuff like that. That's the need for adventure. So number 4 is the need for love and belonging. We want to be loved, and we want to love someone. That is why when you don't have anyone in your life that you love or that loves you back, then it becomes a problem. Those are the 4 needs. So now your values are the very mediums or the very tools that you will use to exercise this specific needs. So you'll find out somebody who has like a certain value of like a value of empathy, like yourself.
Yes.
So how you go on about these needs, it will be different from someone who values kindness or who values money, who values power, like will go about these needs.
True.
So somebody who values power, for instance, somebody who values power, will find out that when it comes to the need of significance, wherever they are, they want to be felt. Wherever they are, they want to make sure who value, like everybody knows who they are. Exactly, yeah. Like you must feel them. It be about money, like it be about flashing the money. It be about if maybe the guy own a little muscles and stuff, they want to throw their weight around so that you can feel them because of they have a high value of power. And then now they like how they come about this need of significance. They satisfy it by exerting power in wherever they find themselves. So when on the other hand, you have empathy as a as a tool you use to achieve significance. So what's going to happen? You're going to end up being in a situation whereby you are empathetic even to your own detriment. You're going to be empathetic even to a point whereby you kill yourself. You're going to be empathetic even to a point whereby your own needs and then your own aspirations are actually suppressed just because really, you want to feel for the other person.
True.
Just because you want the other person to be fine, to be okay. If somebody tells you that they have a problem, you want to be there. Exactly, you take all your money and then you do that. Exactly, because of you have a high value of what? Of empathy. And then what you do, you use that empathy value to exercise the need of being significant.
Wow.
Like, am I making sense?
You
so
are
now,
sense.
Yeah. So now the biggest thing now is that, so now is it wrong for me to be empathetic now, Mike? Like maybe that might be the next question. Or okay, is it wrong for me to be empathetic? I want to be important, yes, I want to be significant, and then I also want to be empathetic. So is it wrong for me to be empathetic? No, it's not wrong for you to be empathetic. The question now it is this now. It is that which direction is your empathy faced to? Which wall is your need of empathy? Like look at empathy as a step ladder in which you are climbing a wall. So now the ladder of empathy that you are using, which wall is it leaning against? Is it leaning against the wall of fear or the wall of love? If it is leaning against the wall of love, I can promise you now, you will be empathetic in a way that is not compromising your health and your well-being. Giving you an example, if somebody comes to you every month and say, Lerato, I'm stuck, Lerato, I'm stuck, Lerato, I'm stuck.
But like airtime. I have nieces.
But like airtime all the time, right? You know what I mean? So if your value of empathy is leaning against the wall of love, you will know when to say no. You will know that saying no does not mean you don't care. Saying no, it means that you are putting yourself first, you are loving yourself first, so that when you are empathetic from a full standpoint, from a fulfillment standpoint, and from being content about it. You don't want to do something and feel guilty about it afterwards. You don't want to help someone and also feel guilty or did I compromise myself? Did I compromise a lot from that? So that's the thing of empathy. There's nothing wrong about empathy. There's nothing wrong about any value that we have. Like for instance, I have this value of care. Like it is on the top of my list. Like everything, wherever I am, I care. Like I happen to be the one who's caring the most about like that specific space that I find myself in. And then in the past, Lerato, like it was predicated on fear. The fear that if I don't show that care, then people will think that I don't care. If I don't show that care, people will think that I'm this bad person, I'm this person who does not love them, so on and so forth. So when your values are predicated on the wall of fear, they will destroy you. So some people, for instance, if your value is power, you want to be this powerful, this rich, wealthy person. But that value is actually predicated on fear. What's going to happen is that you will suppress people wherever you go. You will be aggressive when you don't need to. You won't even show compassion when there's a need to do so. You won't even feel the pressure that other people are feeling because of where now you want people to see you good to you like you are powerful. That's why we get abusive leaders. That's why we get abusive managers and CEOs and so on and so forth. That's why we even get like those guys who see their worth by being with many girls, because if they are with few girls, it means that they are not important. Few girls, it means that like they are nothing, So the only way to show that is by having like 1,000 women in their in their pocket.
But then there's also a problem that I've picked up now with my experience, doing music videos and all that. Most people, they feel like, or most artists, they feel more important or more of an artist if a lead girl or a video girl is a colored girl. Like it's about race. Like if you're black now, they feel like it's not the it's not a good music video.
Mm,
Which is also a problem, because we're all humans, we're all beautiful in
exactly in our own skin. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think Lerato, since we know you've been in the entertainment industry for some time,
yes,
you have seen all the fluctuations of how people value people and how people see people, so on and so forth, right? And then if you find out that you are in a company of people or in a company of producers who want to see colored girls being the ish. So the main thing there is for you to realize that you are beautiful in your own skin. You're beautiful as you are, and then that you should not change anything about
you. Exactly. And
so
that's
that you can
exactly what
fit
I
in the
did.
spaces.
Yes, all I had to add was confidence, because it was breaking my confidence. Remember,
Wow,
as
wow.
as a village girl, you coming from Bangkok or to Makhuwa, and then next thing about okay, or maybe is it because
Sure.
you start having doubts about yourself, but then that encouraged me as well. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm sorry to say this, but yes,
Yeah,
fuck this.
sure.
I'm a village girl, and I'm pretty,
Yeah.
and I'm hot, and I'm gonna be a lead girl, and it happened because I had to.
It happened, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But there's questions here that I feel okay. Let me read them for you,
Okay,
because
cool.
I don't want us to exclude people.
Or to just go on and then without
Without
what
because
you
they're
are
asking
asking.
questions here. Okay, Ronali Tsepo Choche.
Oh yeah, that's my neighbor. That's my neighbor. He
Yes.
should ask me this question. He should come to my to my to my house and ask me these questions. He's my neighbor. That's what he's saying. What is his question?
And when we get to the point where we don't need to applaud from shining your values, that's the point. Oh, okay. I thought it was a question. So
He was making a point, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it's a question. All right, so everybody's on the same page. They're agreeing with whatever you're saying, and which is great. And I love this topic, and it's very interesting.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
You can continue with what you were saying.
Yeah. So another thing, Lerato, that I believe the audience should get from this, no? It is this big question of, do we need to change our values? The answer is no. Don't change your values. Find out how they are charged. Are they positively charged or are they negatively charged? So if your values are positively charged, then for sure that's good for you. If they are negatively charged, then you must just change the direction in which they are charged. Another question is, how does our value get the charge that it gets? You know what I mean? So then now the question that I want to ask it in this way and say, does our values choose us, or do we choose our values? Do we choose to say, I want to be a kind person, I want to be a respectful person, I want to be this, I want to be that, or you find yourself being that person? So the truth of the matter is, arguably, the truth of the matter is our values choose us.
True. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? So our values choose us. You don't wake up and say, yeah, I want to be full of respect, I want to be that. So that might be a thing that you might aspire to do. As you find it as a good value, you can work on it. Definitely you will improve. But your high values, the values that are on the top of that hierarchy, are the ones that chose you. How did they choose you? They choose you by your upbringing. So you'll find out that if you come from an abusive family, so a value is created by what we call a void. A void is an emptiness of some sort. So if you grew up in an abusive family, let's say, right? So there will be a void of being loved. There will be a void of being appreciated. So when that void it is created, it creates a value of wanting to be a person who cares. So you'll find out that when your value of empathy comes from how you were raised. You know what I mean? So you'll find out that you grew up in a place whereby people were just needing things to survive. You find out you grew up in a place whereby people were stricken by poverty, and then as a result, that thing did not stand out well with you. So you grew up you grew up in the paradigm of lack. Like things were lacking in the spaces you find yourself in, and they created this void of wanting people to care more, people to be empathetic more, and as a result, it created that specific what value of empathy. So our values choose us in that way. They choose us in a way that how we were raised or how we grew up. There's a question here, Karabo. Okay,
Yeah,
you'll
let me
read it
get
after.
are you
You'll
reading
read
it?
it out.
Okay.
No, you will read it out
Okay.
after I
Okay.
after I make this point. Our values choose us. We don't necessarily choose them. But however, as we grow up, we aspire to be better people. Yes. So you'll be like, no, I should be more empathetic. I should be more caring. I should be more loving. I should be more respectful. And we aspire those things because that's what we believe life should turn out. But the ones that are core, those are the ones that are engraved in you because of your upbringing, created a void that made that value to be a supreme value.
Wow. Wait again. O tshwere di nnete fela. E be ke a bona o bitsa nnete mo.
I think it's like
Okay, question ya Karabo Khotsane are what happens when your personal values conflict with the company that you work for? So for instance, if you value integrity and end up working with people who don't share or display that value.
Wow, that's a beautiful question. So Karabo, yeah, so when your value when your personal value conflicts with that thing, this thing creates that thing cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when your supreme values are in conflict with the outlet that you use to carry out your daily things or to carry out your life or to move the bar of the trajectory of your career forward. So when there is that clash, it creates cognitive dissonance, and then you find yourself being incompetent. You find yourself not loving that space, not being fully engaged in that specific space because of it collides with your core values. That's why Lerato, like in your spaces, there are certain times whereby you'll be shooting like this big video with this big artist in the like in the South African music industry, but after that you'll be like, but like what was that? You know what I mean? Like I feel like I missed something there. You know what I mean? I feel like I didn't get like the most out of it because some of the things that you had to do on the video or whatever,
they're not up to my values.
Exactly, they were conflicting with some of your values, you know. And so what Karabo is asking is a very very big like important question. So how you go about it is that you must realize that your values will dictate how, like I said in the beginning, your values dictate how you view the world. They create your worldview. They create a perception of how you what you believe the world should be like. So if you are working in this company that does not value integrity, she talks about integrity, then because of you see the world in a way that integrity should be a supreme thing. So what do you do in that space? Like that's the big question. What do? You have a couple of options. Option number one is that you can quit, obviously, and go look for another job.
And which is to find
you know what I mean?
another job because you have
Exactly.
to apply before you can even leave.
Look for another job whereby it will match your values. Because of one thing that we do as people, and then I don't blame people for doing that. I've done that like a couple of times. Is that when we look for jobs, we look for companies. Even when we go to interviews, we don't ask questions in the interviews that will tell us whether the company is a good fit for us. We only want to be a good fit for what? For the company. Hence you prepare your questions in a way that the boss of that company will actually like you, because of you want to prepare answers that they will like, so that you appear as a good fit for the company, not the other way around. You know, but as you grow, as your career grows, then you start to be more privileged to actually look for companies that match your like your value outlet. So you'd be like, okay, my values outlet are like this. I don't want to work for companies that abuse women. I don't want to work for companies that see women as objects, that do not respect like talent that is coming from women. So you can be that when you are more privileged. So yeah, so number one, I said you can quit the job and look for ones that match your values. Number two, is that thing of accepting that people don't see the world the way you see it. And then as people don't see the world the way you see it, so from their view is how things should be like. And then, but from your view is not how things should be like. And then accepting that does not necessarily mean that you are going to be a big player for the value that you don't believe in. What it means is that you have accepted someone for how they see the world, and then you are willing to walk life with them, irrespective of how you like how your worldview actually collides. But there are extremes, Lerato. There are extremes. There are certain extremes whereby there are certain things that you cannot tolerate. Like if maybe a person, if you're working for a company that, like for a boss who believes that they need to sleep with you in order for them to give you a
Be a
promotion.
promotion or whatever.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's like, that is a problem, because now, like those are the extremes that I'm talking about. So if there are no extremes whereby the values, they differ only on preferences, on a preferential level. By preferential level, what I mean is that, so for me to say I care for you, it might be me making coffee for you every morning. I'm giving an example, like at work, right? And then for you caring for me, it might be you making sure that like I have all the ample information I need to carry out my job, to make sure that I'm not short of information that I need to carry out my job. So, but for me, because of now, this is a coffee on my table to see that you care. I look like you look like you're someone who doesn't care. So that's values differing on a preferential level. They're not different, like they're not differing on a core level. If they differ on a core level, that's a problem. You really need to move from that place. Number three, it is that you can try, however you can, of which is a difficult thing, to change the scenario or to change the situation around. By doing what? But like I was talking about integrity. So if you believe that your superiors are not people who are integral, because that's what integrity is. So because of integrity is nothing else but when what you say matches what you do.
What you do.
Yeah, what you say and what you do when they're interlinked, that is integrity. So if you believe that your superiors are not are not following on this thing of integrity, you can find a way to go around it, meaning that you put them in a position whereby they have no choice but forced to be people of integrity. So I'll give you an example. Let's say when you I believe that you are a person who does not demonstrate integrity. But I know that your highest value is empathy, right? I know that your highest value is empathy. So in other words, now I will take you and make you a head, or make you a supervisor, or make you a manager of a team that needs empathy to actually thrive. Because of these are people who are facing difficult things that without an empathetic person, those people will not thrive. So if I put you in that position and say, okay, please take care of these people, right? And after that, then now I make sure that your what they call them, that your performance indicators, your they call them performance indicators. I make sure that like your performance indicators are measured on the level of integrity. So I put you in a position whereby empathy is the thing that you need to carry out the job, because of that's your number one value, right?
True.
And then I make sure that the measures at which I measure your performance are based on integrity, the value that you don't like. Then as a result, now what will happen now is that because of your empathetic, you really want to help these people because of your empathy. You're not going to let them down. And now I put pressure on you by making sure that the performance indicator is what? It's integrity. Then you will be forced to demonstrate integrity.
Wow. Yo,
I'm sure I'm making sense.
You are making sense. Yo. Okay, I get to about that later. Robert said your question in okay, how do values edify one's talent and character? Okay, wow. Let me just read at least 3 so that when you talk, then at least you can cover all those 3. Then reading them one by one. I hope you won't forget, because I know you're smart, so you're not gonna forget. Life is full of challenges. A person will choose a value of choice they make when they face a challenge. So a person who grew up being abused can choose to never let anyone to abuse them, or can be abusive.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
So do
It's more of
values
a
really
statement.
choose
Yeah.
us, or do you choose them? So I think this one you answered, but anyway, you can still put
elaborate more on that.
And then the last one that I'm gonna read until you answer the previous ones are integrity and being dependable is something you work on the notion
On the notion that
should.
values.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh gosh.
It's
Ernest,
earnest.
you know my English is British, so sometimes I don't know how to
Mm.
pronounce things in the South African way. I'm kidding. So reality is the majority of us come from broken backgrounds.
Yes, he's right.
Yes. The
choice
choice
to become better
better is left with
is
you.
left with you.
Yes.
It's more of a statement as well.
Yes, it's a statement. So there's no question.
That's Leroy.
Yes. Well, I'd say it's important to walk. It's important to walk away from extreme, more especially those compels you to completely go against yourself. Okay, people are eating up, so which is good.
Yeah. So
but
there's another question. Drogba. What? There's this guy.
Drogba. How do you deal with values conflicting a relationship or in a relationship?
Oh yeah, how do you deal with value conflict in a relationship? Okay, cool stuff.
Yes,
good questions. Okay, sharp.
Because I mean KG. Are Brati on the money. When you grow in your career, you have the luxury to choose the companies you want to work for, but very difficult when you are starting out.
So he's adding up on what I was saying on what I was saying there. Yeah, so sharp. So now let's start with the first question. So how do values edify one's talents and character? So what you need to understand is that your talents are your gifts.
Yes.
That's the means you use to actually carry out whatever you believe to be your biggest task in life. So if you believe that you are a soccer star, then those are your talents, right? And then your character as well. Your character is actually predicated on your values. Your character is determined by your values. What you value most will actually shape your character. So that's why we have people, but this person is a humble person. That's a character thing, right? This is a humble person. So you find out like your humility is based on your values of wanting to respect other people. So respect might be one of your highest values because of you wanting to show up to the world as a person who's respectful. So your character is built by your values. So how does values edify that? It means it does not edify them per se. Your values determine them. It's the outlet that we use to actually know what your character is. Your character is shaped by your values. What you value the most, like I said, how you show up to the world is dictated by the values that are high on your hierarchy of values. So they don't change your character per se, but they determine it. Like they tell us what your character is. And then your talents, talents and values or gifts and values. What we can say about them, it is that your values will help you shape your talent in a manner that is very sustainable, Lerato. So let's take you for an example, because you are the person that I know here who's talented. So let's take you, Lerato, like with your talent as well, né? You've been a dancer, you've been a DJ, you've been many things. You've been on TV shows, you've been on few like sitcoms and stories and stuff like that, like in the media. You've been called by so many music artists, rap artists, kwaito artists and whatnot to be like the lead person in their videos and whatnot. That's talent, right? So now the question is, are you using your talent in a way that is actually demonstrating the values that the values that are high on your list? That are high on your list, or are you using your talent in a way that demonstrates that you are not in sync with your values? So it is not sustainable to actually use your talent in a way that violates your values, because if it violates your values,
because if I was not using I mean, my talents aligned with my values, I think I wouldn't be where I am today. Maybe I'll even be a star now doing other things because there were certain things that I was not agreeing with and I couldn't take them. And
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And I think so now it becomes a very important, like an important part to what you just said. And then it adds to the question, it adds to my answers to the question. So it is that, Lerato. People think that the only way to go up in life is to like cheat the system, and it's like to cheat on your most important values, and that's not the case. And when you might think that you being loyal to your values actually set you back because of there are certain big deals that you did not take because of it did not feel right. So that's not the case. And now the biggest question, Nana, the biggest question that you need to ask yourself is that how can I use these values of mine to make sure that I amplify my talent to get to a point whereby it takes me to the next level? So that I blow up and my talent explodes like anybody else that we see in the industries. That's the biggest question you need to ask yourself. I'm an empathetic person. How can I use my talent in an empathetic way, like in a way that will demonstrate this empathy thing I have, or whatever other values that we have on your list? That's the question you need to ask yourself, because of your values are there, because of your anything that is congruent to your values that you are doing. I promise you, you'll be unstoppable once you do it that way. You'll be unstoppable once you actually predicate your career and build your career around your main values. So meaning that, so I'll give you an example. So let's say now you get a deal, right? Or let's say now you get a deal to go, I don't know, to be on this to be a presenter of this show, right? And then you find out that being presenter of this show is the show whose content is about, like, it's about things that you don't value. Maybe it's about popping champagnes, popping bottles and stuff like that. And then, like, those are the things that you do, but you don't value them. You don't really want to show up to the world as somebody who actually promotes that kind of a lifestyle, right? And then now you'd be like, okay, cool, then I'm gonna lose out on this deal. Yeah, it's fine. You can lose out on that deal because of it. It is not actually showcasing the values that you hold dear to your heart. So, but now it's like, how do you blow up now with this mentality that you have? How you blow up with this mentality that you have is to make sure that you find your audience, you know your audience, and you know the gift that you are to the world. If you don't know the gift that you are to the world, then you will start thinking that your values are actually there to be a handicap, not to be a things that will catapult your career to the next level. You need to understand, Lerato Hore, you are the gift. Like, you are a gift to the spaces that you find yourself in. And then your values will actually be the anchors of that specific talent that you want to nurture, or that specific space that you want to influence. Don't influence people in a way that later you'll go like, oh guys, I'm sorry. This is not how, like, I knew from the beginning, or this is not what I wanted. No, you don't want to be that person. You want to be a person who starts their career, who starts their life in a way that they know that is consistent and congruent to their highest values. So yeah,
It's very interesting. I remember you even said the last time we had a conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, you gave an example, Nicki Minaj.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes,
So she's able to stand
yes.
on what she started with, like, so don't try something that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. Because of I said that if you want to be a model who shows bums and calves and boobs and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong. If like I told you, there's a need for what? There's a need for adventure. If that's how you, like, you show your adventure, that's how you want to be colorful and then actually show up to the world. That's okay if it is not colliding with your values. If you don't want to be a person who says, no, showing my boobs is a bad thing, I don't want people to see me that way, then you start doing that. It's going to create that cognitive dissonance that I'm talking about. So you need to work on that.
True.
So secondly, so yeah, like, and I give an example, Nicki Minaj. You can almost always tell that this person is confident in their skin, like she loves what she does, and then that's why she.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, so don't do that. So there's a question. Oh, how do you deal with value conflict in a relationship? Sure, that's a big one. So I have this friend of mine. We spoke about this like a while back, and then what he was saying was that if you are in a relationship with someone and then your core values actually collide, it's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. True.
It's not a good thing. So only when preferences collide is like it's okay, you know. Like I said, someone's value might be the thing of being that there are those people who are very touchy feely and whatnot, who are affectionate. That's the word I was looking for. People who are affectionate, you know, and then you find out when you're not affectionate. So those are preferential values. They are not core values. So core values, like if, like for instance, I can't be with a girlfriend who is disrespectful. Like it's a problem for me. Like
So
somebody
one of your major priorities.
is one of my major priorities, one of my major values. If, like for instance, if Lerato, you are a person is a problem for me. I cannot I promise you I cannot roll with you if you are a person because of my highest value is that of respect, and then is that of seeing other people as equals. So then if you are like that, then it's a problem. So how do you deal with this conflict? It is that find out if it's a preferential value. If it's a preferential value, then find a way to actually like mingle it and then work, and then you can work on it, and then you'll be well, like you'll be fine, you'll be okay, you know. Like like Leroy is actually on this conversation. He's more of a like the guy who made a point. Leroy is he's a relationship coach and a dating coach. He speaks about relationships in depth. So if maybe he's still here on this conversation, I wish he can answer. Yeah, so so I wish he can actually add to that question, you know, add to that one, add to that question. How do you deal with conflict of values in a relationship? So my number one thing is that if there are core values, then man, it's gonna be like a serious one, like move from that one.
So tell me.
No, but if they're preferential values, then you can work on them.
Is responsibility one of the values? Because I find myself not being able to stand anyone who cannot be responsible. And I also find I'm a very responsible child in terms of like, in all aspects. Like I try to be responsible, and I can't people who are not responsible.
No, responsibility is one of the highest values. It's one of the values that people have or should have, you know. That is the reason why a person who is irresponsible, like they find it hard to actually be committed to anything, and then to stick to anything. They find it hard to actually take accountability for their own mistakes. They find it hard to be accountable and to be reliable, because what they are irresponsible. So responsibility, yes, just to give you a straightforward answer, yes, it is one of the values. So it means when one of your highest values is what? It's responsibility. So somebody who does not demonstrate that person you and them are not gonna gel well together. Yeah,
especially in my working space, like I can't stand people responsible.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, are you looking for other questions?
Yes, I want to find other questions here and read them for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes.
So somebody, I don't know what Tepo did say, because of Karabo is saying she agrees with Tepo for the comment on values.
Yes, Tepo. You didn't read it. He was agreeing with what you were saying.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Miss Karabo is also agreeing.
Yes. So relationship will kill a relationship, or it will be toxic with time.
That's Tapel, yeah. So Tapel actually agrees with me, because I'm saying that if core values are actually in conflict, it's a no-no for me. Like for me, it's a no-no. Like I say, the likes of people like Bully Roy, they might maybe comment and then actually tell us how they work with such. But if core values are in conflict, Lerato, no, like it's a no-no for me, you know. So yeah, and then maybe just before I forget, like I believe that if there's one thing that I believe people should take away from this conversation, it is that they need to investigate the values that are dictating things that they do. They need to investigate like the values that are running their lives, because of values will run your life whether you like it or not, whether you believe in them, whether you don't believe in them. Your values will always dictate how you do things. So you need to find them out, like search them earnestly and find out, all right, okay, my highest value is care, my highest value is respect, my highest value is responsibility, my highest value is this and that. So if you are not aware of them, the problem it is that you'll keep on fighting with people and not knowing why. You'll keep on being in relationships and then they don't last and you don't know why. You keep on being at work and in jobs, in and out of jobs, and you don't know why. You keep on losing business deals and you don't know why. But once you know your values, you will now find the reasons why, or like find the reasons on which your decisions are predicated on. You'll be like, okay, these are the values. So that's one thing that I want them to take away from this, to investigate their values. And then number two that I want them to take away from this conversation, Lerato, it is that I would love people to realize the fact that values that are negatively charged, by negatively charged, I mean the values that are predicated on the foundation of fear, they will destroy them. But values that are predicated on the foundation of love, they will build them, they will grow them, they will make them blow up, they will make them reach like the best things in life that they want to reach in life, if your values are actually plugged into the foundation of love. So what is the foundation of love? The foundation of love is the foundation that is free from things like envy, jealous, insecurity, what things like aggression, anxiety, what other things I can think of, like fear, like I said, like I spoke about fear. So those things that I mentioned are actually the foundations of fear. So if a value is predicated on a fearful foundation, how do you know? You know when you find yourself being envious of other people. You know when you find yourself being jealous of other people. You know when you see yourself comparing yourself with other people. You know when you are just anxious for no reasons. You know when you are feeling a little bit less insecure, so on and so forth. When you are too bossy and all of those things, then you know that your values are actually predicated on the foundation of fear. You don't have to change those values. You must just change the foundation in which they are predicated on, or that they are motivated by. So what are the...
Sorry, have you found yourself in a situation whereby you conflict your... How do I put this question?
Yeah.
Not to ask the question because you were talking about it, whereby maybe you feel jealous, yes, because how you speaking to me, how you advising us, but maybe feeling insecure about something, yet you know about the values, you understand what they are, but as a person you still struggle from certain things that you're talking to us about now.
Say that again.
How do I put it?
No, put it like put the same way, because there was a little bit of a lag, and then I missed the like to connect the first part you said with the last one.
Have you found yourself conflicting with what you're saying about values, yet you understand exactly what they are?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's like I am the preacher of the gospel, but I find myself in a position whereby no, for sure. Many times Many times, Lerato. So let me give you one of the examples. Let me think of a quick example that I can think of. Okay, I can't think of a quick example, but anyway, but I did find myself in a position whereby the things that I profess, the things that I teach about, the things that I say to people are the very things that actually ache me. Remember what I told you. I said a value is created by a vacuum, is created by an emptiness. So in other words, that value that we are talking about, it is predicated, or it is actually, I use the word predicated a lot on this conversation. So so like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so what I'm saying is that so remember, like values are created by a vacuum, are created by an emptiness of some sort. So the very reason why you have a certain value, it is the very reason why you need it. So the very reason why I teach about the things that I teach, it is because I needed them the most. There was a vacuum, there was an emptiness of me wanting to learn and know more about this thing so that I can improve my life. So as a result, then I struggled with these things myself so much. That is why I am teaching about them. So I knew about them intellectually, yes, but I was not living out those values. I was not living out those precepts. I was not living out those like those yeah, you know, like those values and those principles, right? So because I struggled with them, they created a vacuum. And then as a vacuum, for me to fill up that vacuum, I needed to find out more about them so that I can fill up that vacuum. Then as a result, then I ended up what? Teaching about them. So when you struggle with something, Lerato, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because of it actually tells you what matters to you.
True.
You will never struggle about something that you don't care about. I can promise you that. Because of once you struggle about something that you don't care about, you will quit it. You'll be like, it's fine. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, I tried to do athletics, go primary school, believe it or not. You know, believe it or not. So I tried to do athletics. Imagine me being an athletic person. Imagine me being Usain Bolt. You know what I mean? So because I didn't care about it. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? So I promise you, everything that you care about, everything that is causing you sleepless nights, is because you care about it. And then the reason why you care about it is because of there is something in you, Lerato, in you, that is telling you that, hey man, use me because of I can be a solution to that specific thing. Mm-hmm. So there's this thing that we call in psychology, they call it I think I told you about it. They call it an orienting reflex.
Mm-hmm.
An orienting reflex. Right?
Yes.
An orienting reflex. There's this thing in psychology called an orienting reflex. An orienting reflex, Lerato, it's a thing in your psyche that orients you, or that directs you towards the direction of things that matter the most to you. So as we are sitting now, there can be 100 things that are going wrong around you. 100 things. But only 4, 5, or 6 will actually matter to you. They'll actually be the ones that pull you, that will take your attention. Why? It is because they are because of your orienting reflex is orienting you towards those things. They're telling you that thing matters, you must attend it. And then what is it in you that is telling you that thing matters? It is the thing that knows very well. It's your soul knowing very well that it has the gifts, it has the tools and the talents and the instruments to actually come up as a solution to those specific things. So all those things that are causing you sleepless nights, Lerato, you must know that they are causing you sleepless nights because your higher self knows very well that God has equipped this young lady named Lerato with the instruments and the tools to actually be a warrior in that specific fight of the things that are causing you sleepless nights.
Wow. And then I have 2 questions for you coming from me, because since I don't.
Yeah.
Then how did you deal with okay, let me ask this question straight and forward. Maybe you'll tell me. How after matric?
Sure.
did you know anything about values? Did you the line
No.
of career that you chose, is it exactly what you were looking for? Did you even have an understanding of what you wanted to do in life?
So in matric, that's a good question. In matric, so my career choice, né? My career choice was shaped by a couple of things. Number one is that when I was in grade 8, I remember very well, middle school. When I was in grade 8, there was this gentleman in our village who got a bursary or a scholarship to study in Malaysia, to be a computer scientist, to be a software engineer. That's when software engineering was actually quite new in our country. A lot of people didn't know much about it. So after that, then I was like, yo, I wanna be in an aeroplane sometime now and go somewhere. So this is the career that I must choose. That's what I wanted to do as well. But way before that, Lerato, and then I shared this story this other time when I was invited by Gibbs to actually be their keynote speaker. So I was telling them that my dream was to become a medical doctor from a very young age. I wanted to be a medical doctor, but at the age of 12, this dream was shattered. How it was shattered was that we were coming from a wedding with a family, and then on our way home, we saw an accident, and then a young boy's lifeless body was on the road. You can tell over he was like about 6, 7, 8 years old. The boy, like the images were horrific, were horrifying. And then from that point in time, I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a person who deals with blood. I don't want to be a person who deals with such images,